Why buy your next vehicle from Community Motors of Mason City?
Great service from 3 locations. Community on Monroe, Community Motors Westside, and Mason City Ford. 10 new franchises and hundreds of vehicles to give you more choices. Plus, Community offers an exclusive 3-3 warranty on pre-owned vehicles and 10-year, 250,000-mile warranty on new. Need more reasons why? Stop or visit CommunityAutoGroup.com.
Because nobody beats a community deal. Nobody.
The Board of Supervisors to order. Before us we have today's agenda, the minutes of the meeting of the 8th and 9th of January.
At this time, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for this morning and the minutes from January 8th regular session and January 9th special session.
Okay, and I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve today's agenda. The minutes of the meeting of the 8th and the 9th of January is presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All business?
I have none.
Hearing none. New business? He's not here today.
Tom, you
Did
have
she drop anything on the Reynolds?
We have got the rates, but
Well, this is, it's a resolution, it is a yearly resolution she does to reflect the accurate costs of rental rates for county road equipment and its use. Did you have a chance to see the
and sometimes, because of fuel and different things, believe it or not, sometimes they've even gone, everything always seems to go up, and sometimes they've even come down on different things, but I don't know if that's the case in this particular.
did their wages change on January 1? I think that's why then.
The operators.
At this time, I'll make a motion to do resolution 2013, number 13.
Okay.
For rental rates. There she is.
And I'll,
Oh, hi, we have, an engineer's here, good.
before I
Mary,
second that.
we have a motion to approve the rental rates. Did you want to offer comment?
Sure, the rental rates just include the payroll increase as of January 1st. So
There we go.
pretty standard, we haven't changed the equipment, dollar amounts, and it's been probably a few years, so I may look at that next go around.
Okay.
But as of now, they hadn't changed since last time.
Okay, I was getting to the point to second it, so also
Okay.
second it.
Motion's been made and seconded. Do you have any more questions for Mary on the rental rates as proposed? Okay, motion made and seconded to approve resolution 2013, number 13. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, what else is new, Mary?
Not a whole lot else is new. Yesterday, the applications were due for the general maintenance position, so I'll be looking through those. Okay, thanks. And then we've made an offer, conditional offer of employment to the temp employee. So we're just waiting for him to do his pre-employment physical and whatnot. And I think it should work out good because he's willing to work if it's snowing, and otherwise he's not interested in working a lot of extra hours. So it'll work good for him, it'll suit his needs, and it'll suit our needs to have somebody there to run the maintainer, and he does have a little bit of maintainer experience, so that'll be beneficial. He's not an ex-employee or anything, but I think it'll work for both parties, so.
Okay.
He was in the maintenance crew out at Kayak for years, so he has moved snow and stuff. I think he'll make a good part-time employee.
Okay.
That's about all I have to discuss, unless you guys have any questions.
Anything? Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay.
Could we move item C up to above item B, so that won't take very long and we can get these expensive people back to.
Well, yeah, I can imagine that's important. Yeah, let's move down the agenda to item C, the GIS Committee authorized chair to sign proposal to readjust the 2002 Cerro Gordo County GPS survey control network. Comments?
Good morning, gentlemen. I think Mary and I are going to kind of share the podium here.
Go for it.
Dan Corbin is the consultant who worked with us on our GIS project last year, and he formerly worked with ASI out of Cedar Falls. 10 years ago when we initially did the RGIS project. He approached Mary about an issue that counties are going to have to address over a period of time, some sooner than others. There has been an adjustment by the federal government. I believe it's called a horizontal adjustment. I will have to say this is an esoteric issue and way out of my league. But my limited understanding is that the national NGSG, whatever it is, the geographic branch of federal government has, with the many satellites available, GPS satellites, and the better systems, has refined the measurements on a nationwide basis. And they went through this process just in the past, or finished this process last year. The state will be conducting the process. Each county has been unique, and so our points, our county points, our corners of our county may have longitudinal and latitudinal references in Cerro Gordo, which may differ from the adjoining counties. This provides an integration of those more accurate measurements. It will require field work and recalculation of points in Cerro Gordo County. The proposal is for about a $38,000 contract. I think you have copies. I don't happen to have a copy in front of me. Of that, about $7,000 would be inside the city of Mason City. Mary and I talked with Dan Corbin on a conference call, and the GIS committee met. The recommendation from the GIS committee is to approve this contract with a condition that we, as a county, agree to pay only that portion that affects the county outside the city of Mason City. That, for the city of Mason City, it's about $7,000, so it's a roughly $31,000 contract that we'd ask you to commit to. Mary has, this is mostly, I wouldn't say engineering, surveying issue, Mary, is that?
Yeah, there's several, over the course of the time, the federal government, the U.S. Coastal and Geodetic Survey, they put out new datums. And now that we have this established GPS network, we need to keep it up to date. And it's an adjustment, like a horizontal adjustment, like Ken had mentioned. The state has already put into effect their adjustment at the beginning of January. It doesn't adjust the individual county networks because we've done ours individually. So then the county would have to do theirs on their own. So that's what we're looking at doing. And Ken had mentioned the city portion. We feel they should be responsible for maintaining their coordinate system, but it would be advantageous if we could all do it together. So less confusion and just it's more clear and everything like that. So I don't know if you have any specific questions.
Jesse from the city is strongly interested in participating, but he can't commit on behalf of the city. The city finance director was absent last week, and so he wasn't able to have that discussion, but he intends to have that discussion. From our perspective, there's some benefits. We have a vertical issue in the western side of the county, and I think Mary is more familiar with this. This would be an opportunity, since we have to go out and physically remeasure each of our monuments, this would be an opportunity to correct that anomaly or problem that's existed for the past 11 years. I think Mary's also interested in moving some of the monuments that exist on private property onto the public right of way, so that we have better access in the future.
There's one I'm 100% certain it sits on private property, and it shouldn't be. You know, we don't want farmers farming our right of way. Well, we shouldn't be putting our monuments in their field, which they could get disturbed and destroyed. They'd be much better protected in the county right away. So, and I don't know how it got set there. Those were done prior to me coming, but it is certainly on private property that I would like to get moved.
will we have our people do the moving of the monuments and stuff? or-
We can't because we're not licensed surveyors, but there's about $5,700 worth of work that I would like to try to have Steve and Mary do, where it's just going out and locating the monuments and creating a list if there's any missing or that need to be moved. I think they're knowledgeable enough, they can find the monuments and locate them and mark them. So then when Mr. Corbin will come out to do the field work, he doesn't have to spend time searching for it.
All that prep work's done in advance.
Yes, yes.
Bill? What, yeah, just, is ours right or wrong? What's this, finally make it right or wrong?
Well, it's not wrong per
But
se,
it's
it's just an adjustment that the USGS has put out. So it's just keeping them up to date and keeping them current. And like Ken said, you have horizontal, which is this way, and you have the vertical. And we have some that are, like over in the northwest corner, that the vertical is out of whack and needs to be adjusted. So we're looking, I would like, since they're gonna be out there doing that field work, I would like them to do that adjustment as well.
Yeah, Mr. Nelson?
Mr. Chair, I have a question for the committee. Will these changes trickle down to deeded landholders? There won't be any changes to the public?
Not really. Right now, and, correct me if I mistake this, Mary, our GIS system is highly accurate, but is it accurate enough for surveyors? Not, it is not. This will move that, and it's possible that the surveyors might actually start using our GIS system because we could increase that accuracy. But as far as landowners, there's no change to a lot dimension or a lot corner or any of that. It's just the correct positioning on the earth that we can reference.
Okay.
So if we would not take action, we would actually exist in two, we would have the national system, which we're not adjusted to, and so we would have to make adjustments. It would cause issues for us over time, frankly.
I know when the horizontal and the vertical are out of adjustment, it can be very difficult.
I think the
They're difficult viewing.
The technical term is out of whack, I believe.
Now you're getting down to Phil's mic.
There you go. And Ken said he wasn't an expert on
I
it. We
know.
know he's an expert on everything. Okay, other questions, gentlemen?
Don't believe I have any.
Okay. Certainly sounds worthwhile, but we have a motion to take action on this.
So moved.
And I'd second that authorization.
Okay. Motion made and seconded to authorize the chair to sign the proposal for the readjustment of the 2002 Cerro Gordo County GPS Survey Control Network. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
See, what they say, expensive people, now they can go back to work.
Very good.
I'm gonna just stay for drainage.
Oh, well, yeah, you gotta stay for drainage.
Okay. Next item of business, county auditors.
We have our claims for your consideration today, and no signatures are needed.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if you find everything in order, I'll still make a motion to authorize your signature and accept the claims presented this morning.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the claims and authorize chair signature where appropriate. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Payroll.
No payroll issues today.
Drainage, consider DNR requests to highlight a joint drainage district 31/86/1. Drainage district ties to further Union Hills Wetland Restoration Project.
Yeah, it was brought to my attention that Doug
Yeah.
wants to, they're adding another 40 acres to the Union Hills, right?
53.
53. And they need to do a little drainage readjustment here to do that. And since we're it's the supervisor district, I would ask Doug if he'd come up and explain it to us a little bit.
I'm gonna ask Doug one thing before we start. Will there be any water in it?
Well, probably not.
You can't predict the weather, right?
No.
So Doug, if you'd like to come up and kind of explain what you want to do?
Yeah. Here. I've enlarged it a little bit.
Okay.
For you guys. And I'll pass this one around so people can get a little closer, just save one for myself. I'm Doug Janke. I'm a wildlife biologist for the Iowa DNR. And we have for better than 20 years been working on the Union Hills property south of Ventura. And when we first purchased the property, we knew that there was potential for about a 200 acre plus wetland on that property. So Ducks Unlimited designed a dike at the lower end or the outlet end of this potential basin quite a few years ago, and but we've never filled it because we didn't own enough land on the upper end of the watershed to allow us to drain the drainage district tiles out on the surface above the wetland. So we've been waiting for close to probably 20 years to get that piece of land, and Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation purchased that property just in December. And the DNR will probably take over ownership from the Heritage Foundation this summer. So at that time, we're hoping to daylight these two drainage district tiles, and so that landowners upstream have an open outlet for their tile, and then start filling the basin below that we already have the dike in place for. So we've had Yagi Colby come out and take some shots and provided some drawings, which are on the handout that's going around. Basically, there is a large lateral coming down from the north through this property. This property sits on the north side of Union Hills, just adjacent to it. It was Mike Smith was the tenant on that property of some of the locals here knew him. And there's quite a bit of drop through Mike's land before it hits the Union Hills property. So that's the drop we were hoping to take advantage of, and we have purchased enough land now so that we can take this tile coming down through the waterway and drop it out onto the surface, and then it'll be the tile on this main tile, which is 18 inches on his property and gets larger as you go south, plus a small lateral that's only about 6 inches in the road ditch on Dogwood to the east. And we can outlet both of those tiles so that even in a 50-year event, there shouldn't be any water coming up against those daylighted tiles. So we're, I guess, asking for permission to go ahead and make those changes to the drainage district tiles. And then we have to go down to the dike that was built a long time ago and remove the drainage district tiles underneath that dike so that essentially the tiles aren't functional anymore, and the dike will actually hold the water, because obviously if you have the dike there but you have functional tiles underneath it, it's not going to work too well. So that's what we're proposing to do, and hoping to get support.
Any cost to this project? you guys pick up?
Right, yeah, we'll pick up the whole cost on construction.
All this property here will be considered in the Union Hills?
Yes.
So that will either be you guys' jurisdiction, or will that be the federal
It'll
government?
be, this particular parcel of 53 acres will be DNR jurisdiction.
Okay.
And you're, during years of normal moisture, you think you'll have enough runoff from the tiles and that it'll suffice to enhance the area the way you want to? Yeah.
Is this, our biggest question about this thing was what does it do to the rest of the district?
Right. Well, for the landowners upstream, obviously they get an open daylighted tile, so that should help them. And downstream, you know, say below the dike, of course, it's in federal ownership for the next, half mile to 3/4 of a mile. Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. So, and then below that, the tile, below Union Hills, the tile extends for another 1/4 mile at the most, and then it dumps into a ditch, a drainage ditch. So, as far as landowners downstream are concerned, the dike itself has a water control structure in it. So if the wetland fill gets to full, it'll start spilling out through this water control structure, which then drops back down into the drainage district tile. If it gets, I mean, if you have like a 6-inch event or a 5-inch rainfall event, of course it'll go up higher, but you know, it can go up 1.5 feet before it even come around the emergency spillway. So you have 1.5 feet of additional flood storage above where we would normally hold it before any additional water would come out of that area. So 1.5 feet over 200 acres.
At the dike.
At the dike, right. So there should be benefit upstream and downstream. Plus that the tile through that basin is really in bad shape. Years back, we went out and fixed a big blowout in it ourselves that we could have driven the pickup into. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's just real peaty down in through there.
Doug, you're on the south side of that. Do you see any problems?
Well, that's why I came this morning, gentlemen, is after meeting with Doug a little bit earlier, and he explained the dike situation. I'm actually in favor of this. I do farm on that open ditch he was talking about just downstream. And I would see that this would give us more surge capacity and let our downstream fields drain a little faster while that water's held upstream. So I don't see why any farmers near me would be against this.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yep.
So, in your opinion, this, what you're establishing or attempt to establish, this would be much like it was prior to any settlement in this area?
Yeah.
Or is it enhancing that effect? Maybe?
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of enhancement, but if you look at the soil out there,
just letting it do its, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much doing what it used to do.
Okay.
Well, Sandy and I have been working on this a little bit.
Excuse me. Please turn off your phone so you don't interrupt the speaker.
It's happened in this meeting before. Sandy and I have been looking at this, and I think I don't see any major problem with it, but I do think that since it's a supervisor district, we need to talk to a drainage attorney and make sure we do everything right, you know, legally.
That would be John Duffy, right?
Well, we'll probably, yeah, either him or we'll go through the drainage attorney that's worked on this project.
Oh, and that's,
It was Bob Brinton, but he's retired and he's passed that off to Dave Johnson.
yeah.
He's who we visited with.
But it's in there,
I understand. Yep.
But I don't see any problem with it, as long you know, as long as we can legally do it and we'll get somebody to tell us that it's not gonna hurt the district.
Mhm.
It's a very peculiar district for the simple reason is a lot of this ground is federal
Oh, yeah.
ground.
Mhm.
They don't pay no bills, so everybody in the district gets billed about 2 to 3 times more than they probably ought to,
Uh-huh.
because the federal government does not pay for drainage.
Yeah. They pay, make a payment in lieu of taxes, though, I believe. But I'm saying it doesn't equal
Well,
the tax.
and it doesn't even come close to what,
Oh, okay.
to what it costs the drainage district.
Drainage District 31.
But,
Large, and that's a lot of acres.
Yeah.
Drainage district goes into 3 different counties,
Yeah.
so, or besides this one.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're gonna make sure we do everything right, and we should. And I don't see a problem with it, because I like these kind of programs.
Yeah.
But, we'll get our end done, and we'll get, you know, we'll get back to you.
So one question I would pose to you is, right now Iowa Natural Heritage owns the property. But we should have title to it sometime this summer. If it takes a couple of months, you know, to work through the legal paperwork, Heritage Foundation will still own it at that point, so how do we do this? Do we write this with the Heritage Foundation with the conditions to go with the property, or we just hold, do we work the agreement out with DNR and the county and just not sign it until we have title to it this summer? Either way, it's fine with me.
Are you proposing the agreement be with the trustees of the district and Iowa National Heritage, or the DNR? You made reference to an agreement.
Yeah, if there's some sort of a agreement needs to be.
I would think if we're going to do it, if you guys are gonna end up with it, we'd probably just soon wait and do it.
Okay.
So we don't have to do it once with the Iowa Heritage
Right.
and then turn right around again and do another one with you guys.
Right. Okay, yeah, well, that's fine with me, so I could just, we call them right-of-way agents or realty staff that could, you know, be in contact with the attorney and make sure everything's
Yeah.
kosher.
Yep.
Okay.
Doug, you aren't proposing an agreement on your end. You're anticipating a potential agreement. Is that right?
Right.
I
If
just
no
wanna make sure
agreement
who's
is
driving.
needed, everything is okay, and
Yep.
it just
Sure.
needs to be a resolution in the minutes or something, that's fine too.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So,
We'll get that worked out and we'll get back to you. And I would think we could do it in a month or
okay, all right, sounds great.
two. Okay, thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Okay, let's move down.
Thanks for coming up.
You bet.
Number 4, auditors quarterly report of fees.
I have them right here for your consideration.
Okay. It's all in order, I take a motion to approve.
Also move.
Second?
Motion made and seconded to approve the auditor's report of fees. All in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Okay. Moving down to item D. Tom Brzezinski, Personnel Director.
Last week, Matt Eldridge from Wellmark came up to deliver our renewal for Wellmark for our fully insured Alliance Select 3000 plan. As you know, we self-fund down to the Alliance Select 1000 plan. The rate increase that he presented was a 6.42% increase, which is better than the 7.92% we had the preceding year. So, given our history, I think we may have received some sort of a gift, but nevertheless, I'm going to take it. So, with regards to the renewal, there are several items that need to authorize the chair to sign. The first is the rate sheet, which reflects that 6.42% increase just on the fully insured 3000 policy. I'm expecting later this week I will get the rate information from Group Services with regard that includes not only the fully insured rates, but then also the self-funded portion of the insurance that will actually act upon in the future. So that requires the authorization for the chair to sign. The second item is the customized services form. That's a fee that we pay to Wellmark to send explanations of benefits directly to group services. So group services can handle and pay on the self-funded portion. The third item is the group binder, which essentially is our annual contract with Wellmark for the fully insured 3,000 plan. And then fourth is the confirmation of Medicare secondary payer, or the MSP. That's not an abbreviation for Minneapolis, but if you'd like it to, that's fine. But it is required by the federal government as an explanation of how Medicare is handled in relation to the health insurance coverage that we provide. And so, again, that simply requires authorization for the chair to sign those 4 documents, and then we'll scan them in and get them back to Wellmark.
Well, it's certainly good news when we only have 6.4% for an increase. It's, I think, tribute to the fact that we have a good wellness program in place here, and we take, and the employees take, department heads take the time to talk to these issues, and people change their lifestyles and adjust their living standards to being more healthy. And we're certainly appreciative of that. I remember the days when it used to be very, very large increases, and that's a long time ago now.
Yeah.
I can attest to the fact that they take that into consideration.
And this is one of our major portions of our budget that we got to work with, and it's always good to start out with our budgeting, that we don't have to work with something that's super big to try and get everything in the budget. So I think we did a very good job, or our employees did a very good job this last year, and you can see it on our rate.
Okay.
At this time, I'll make a motion to authorize the chair to sign the rate sheet for the Wellmark plan, the custom option services form, the renewal group binder agreement, and the Wellmark confirmation of Medicare secondary payer.
Okay, and I'll second that.
Okay, motion's made and seconded to authorize the chair to sign the 4 agreements with Wellmark as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Doug.
See you, Doug.
Okay. Emergency management service.
Fall through the ice, though.
I received the 2 amendments from Steve O'Neill on Monday, and basically, from what I can tell, it transfers the federal grant assistance monies previously subgranted to Cerro Gordo County to the city of Cedar Rapids. So the first one is $36,376, and the second amendment is for up to $250,000. It changes the fiscal agent responsibilities from Cerro Gordo County to the city of Cedar Rapids. Yes.
Okay. Questions, gentlemen, or comments?
Yeah, there's been some changes made there, isn't there? I mean, we broke off from Franklin County, and
Well, this is not reflective of that. I don't think.
Okay.
This is strictly the clearinghouse.
Okay.
Is different with the
Okay.
city of Cedar Rapids than
Okay.
we've had in the past, so. And no doubt because of the natural disasters we've had down there, they have the apparatus down there in place to handle this.
okay.
Okay, so, well, at this time, I'd so authorize the chair to sign these amendments.
Okay.
1 and 2.
Okay.
I'll say.
Motion made and seconded to authorize the chair to sign the emergency management service agreements. Excuse me, 1 and 2. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Item F, resolution appointing compensation commission on eminent domain proceedings.
Well, we finally completed the list. We were short 2 licensed real estate people and 1 owner of city property, which we now have. We have a complete list of 28 residents.
Okay.
So we can proceed.
Okay. We received a communication from Ray Randall earlier in the week that he would be interested in serving, actually last week, and proceeded to get Ray the information necessary for him to understand the complete duties and responsibilities of the commission. He communicated back to us that he was in agreement that he would be willing to serve, and so we're very happy to have him. And we would need a resolution to approve his appointment.
Yeah, I'll move in favor of resolution number 14 for the appointing the compensation commissions and eminent domain proceedings.
I'll second.
Okay? Motion made and seconded to appoint Ray Randall to the commission by resolution 2013 number 14. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion to change the January 22nd meeting to 9:30 a.m. There is a conflict next week that I have. I have a 10 o'clock meeting, and it is very difficult to start the meeting at 9:45 and finish by 10 o'clock. So consideration's been given to moving the meeting back to 9:30. That may not be enough time in itself next week. So if I could have the indulgence of the board, my suggestion would be to move the meeting to Monday, the 21st at 9:45 a.m. Because I just need to make sure that I'm at the next meeting and I'm there in a timely manner, and I would be appreciative if we could do that next Monday.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we change meeting to Monday, the 21st.
Okay.
At 9:45.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'll second that.
Okay, motion made and seconded to change next week's meeting to Monday, the 21st at 9:45 a.m. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Agreements and contracts. Okay, have none. Appointments, a few left. Michelle, did you want to make a comment here, or?
Sure.
Okay.
We need to add John Drury and David Victorek to the NICOG board.
Okay.
And Bob has found some replacements in Geneseo Township.
Yeah, we had a couple by the name of Paul and Janet Brown that she was the clerk and he was one of the trustees, and they moved to Mason City, so we had to find somebody else. So a young man down in that area, Tony Kowalski, has offered to serve on the township trustees, and Julie Sheriff has offered to be the clerk. So I'll make the recommendation for all 4 appointments this morning.
Okay.
And I'll second that recommendation.
Motion made and seconded to approve John Drury and David Vittrick to NICOG board. Those are reappointments. And to the Geneseo Township trustees, Tony Klobiski,
Yeah.
and Geneseo Township clerk, Julie Shore. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Correspondence, communication. Down to adjournment.
Okay. Also move for adjournment.
Second. Motion made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.